What's going on? It's Justeeni here. Today, I'm going to be showing you the Cymanti menace that I have become. I've been trying to learn this tribe, not because I enjoy Cymanti. In fact, I despise them quite a lot, but mostly out of necessity, because when it turns out competitive Polytopia players have to understand the game. That includes the special tribes. So yeah, this is part of showing what I've learned with Cymanti and showing part of why I hate this tribe. But yeah, also it's a bit of showing how not to play against the tribe. Not really any offense to the opponent, maybe they just didn't know the matchup, but you'll see what I mean. Because there's very much a right way and a wrong way to play against Cymanti, and I will show exactly why in this video. So things kind of start out pretty normal. I go with this recycling opening. There has been an opening where you don't get this warrior and boost it, which allows you to get a fungi after recycling, which is also a good opening. I've been playing around with that too. Can't really decide which one is better, but this is the opening I go with. I go for the level 3 capital. I meet the opponent. And yeah, early meet's usually a horrible sign for Cymanti, because what Cymanti wants to do is just nothing. They just want to turtle up and wait till the late game. It's kind of like a Larian if you think about it that way, except more extreme somehow. So I go hunting, just develop my economy, get some vision in case the opponent goes for an attack. And spoiler alert, they don't go for an attack. So yeah, why don't they go for an attack? Part of it is the map shape. There's a lot of space between my cities and theirs, which if you're a very defensive tribe is very beneficial. But if you aren't, not so much. The opponent needs to just suck it up and find a way to attack anyway. They decide not to do that. They have construction. They're going the greed route. I'm also going the greed route. I have this disgusting 4 fungi city, which is, yeah, how do you compete with that? That is a centipede and a level 4 Clather spot on the city straight up. The opponent going to town, setting up their windmills, getting ready for their markets. They're gonna go like as greedy as one can possibly be. You're gonna see what I mean. Going for org, again, just continuing to develop nice and fast. And also, the point of organization, why I'm not going for like Clathers or something, is I do need to fight for the border growths. This is another very important thing with this matchup. If you have to go against Sam in the long game, you want to prevent this from happening. Now, it's worth noting the opponent literally cannot prevent this from happening. So, in some ways, like, the spawn is very favored for me, but I'm showing the game anyway, because as one-sided as it does become, I think it's an educational and informative video nonetheless. And it's just really funny to watch. Because I haven't really shown much Cymanti content on the channel, mostly again because I just haven't bothered to learn the tribe until now, where I have to learn it out of necessity. So you might see a bit of Cymanti content, just because, yeah, I've been playing Cymanti. So I get the centipedes going, and again, not going to attack the opponent, why bother? Like, all it does is possibly lose the centipede, and I'm using resources attacking when I should instead focus on actually winning the game by not attacking the opponent. I go riding, it's purely for defense and setting up for Clatherus later. The opponent's expanding all that. Fine and dandy for them, that's cool, they can go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna expand and maybe take one more village, and yeah, the opponent has markets. They actually got their markets before my Clatherus. And yeah, normally if you're trying to go greedy and the opponent gets markets first, that's bad, but I can get my Clatherus just in time. 2 level 4 Clatherus with no setup, by the way. Like, this is disgusting. Like, actually stupid. The opponent gets Altar of Peace. I told you when they're going greedy, they are going greedy. Like, Altar of Peace, they also get their Eye of God. They managed to get some nice vision. But yeah, they have Philosophy too. Philosophy, markets, but I go for the Boom Chi. And for those not familiar with Cymanti, Boom Chi seem like a weird option if you understand what the unit does. They are an amphibious unit that goes into the water and makes algae bridges. Seems really silly to put one on land here. Why am I focused on the water? Well, the thing is, I'm not. Here's the strat with Cymanti. I get a strategy rune, which is completely useless here. I get climbing, and yeah, I'm making fungi, because they also make fungi when they explode. This is totally how Midjiwan intended for the unit to be used, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm using it to upgrade my Calathris. So, you know, normal tribes need to get spiritualism to upgrade their markets. You just need a tier 2 tech to upgrade your Calathris. And you get 3 population per fungi on top of that. My economy is already skyrocketing 55, 56, 57 star per turn. And oh my goodness. I have a bunch of centipedes. I'm making ketons in the front line, again, just in case they attack. These ketons are actually completely unnecessary. So like I got the ruin, I have to justify it somehow, right? Now going for another explorer. Please give me Eye of God. Like, it's kind of a long shot, but you never know. It doesn't give me Eye of God, but it's nice vision nonetheless. I see the village here. This village will be useful to fight over, so I want to get border growth at some point. Instead, my stupid self makes a keton here when I should have made a boomchi, get a fungi here, focus on the border growth, but it doesn't matter. Like, at this point, the game is over. I'm showing you the rest of it mainly to show as a proof of concept why the game is over here. For all intents and purposes, the opponent should have resigned 2 turns ago. Because there is no more game actually left to be played. The opponent doesn't know that, though. Again, likely because they're unfamiliar with the matchup. It looks like there's game to be played, but I'm going to show you why there just isn't. Like, if I were really bad at Cymanti instead of only kind of bad at Cymanti, then yeah, we could argue there's game to be played, but I know how to play. I know what Dumux are. I'm getting Free Spirit, setting up for the inevitable win the game button, as we like to call it. They have aquatism. Like, again, they have philosophy, so they can get a ton of attacks. They have a lot of star per turn. They're fighting for naval control, which makes sense here because I have not invested in the water, but there's the border growth. Unfortunately, the opponent is too late, and they cannot take the city for themselves, no matter how hard they would want to try. More boomchi economy. Like, again, this is completely overkill. I don't need this much economy with boomchi, but I do it anyway. Now, the Dumux spam begins. Opponent goes for a very nice bomber explosions, trying to prevent me from going on the village, which is the correct play here. I get another centipede, because again, my cities are really high level. Another boomchi explosion, border growth, just to take more space. And I get more fungi from exploding the segments, because the opponent was kind enough to donate me units. Because, like, you know, the opponent actually tried to play the game and play aggressively, and they were punished for it. Again, you guys can see why I don't like this tribe at all. It encourages the most gameplay of all time. The opponent doesn't stop me from getting the rune because it can't resist the explosion value with the bomber. I don't blame them, honestly. I get a mining rune, which, it's alright. Again, it doesn't matter at this point. I've won the game. I poison their giant to force it to heal or just be really awkward because, you know, it's only got, I think it only has 1 movement on roads. I don't remember exactly how it works. I'm training Dumux here to pressure, force a response here. I go for rituals, which is hilariously overkill, because I want to just have all my units constantly boosted, and the shamans will be useful for like a few things regarding boost, so like, it's a good investment to get rituals, but it's also at the same time completely unnecessary. I just do it for funsies. The opponent is, again, going so greedy, they're trying to improve their markets, really play the late game here, which again, is absolutely the wrong decision. This will lose you the game against any half-decent Cymanti player. And yeah, I just am... You see how I'm not attacking the opponent still? I have all these Dumux, but I'm just continuing to build them up. And I get another Shaman. The opponent has Knights, but how are they going to chain me? Like, everyone thinks of Cymanti as a tribe that has a bunch of flimsy units. I have a few Hexapods, because those are good on defense as well. They synergize pretty well with Dumux as a nice cleanup unit, alongside the Centipedes as well. They can't chain through anything, though, especially since I've got a ton of Ketons. Like, I have Shamans, I have Hexapods, but I have all these bulky units in the way that they can't chain. They decide to go for some attacking anyway, but again, it is far too late to be doing this kind of shenaniganery. They can get their markets improved. They can try to fight on the water. That's probably their best bet for now, because I have not yet established my win the game on the water button. Which, yeah, unfortunately, Dumux can't go on water, at least not yet. There's Mysticism, that's the philosophy tech for Cymanti, because I know I'm going to be getting more techs in the future, so why not? I do the funny mycelium trick here. I should have exploded the Dumux. This was a misplay on my part. The reason why is because it gives me a fungi, and then I can use that. Also, I have Emperor's Tomb, by the way, because I decided to save up for it to be funny. And yeah, I'm doing some funny mycelium stuff. I'm flopping around with it, not knowing what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter. The opponent goes for the city, thinking they can keep it. No, they can't. Again. They're trying to play for things. It's kind of nice. They're demonstrating exactly how this position's losing, no matter what they do, so... Like, I guess I appreciate them for trying. And again, like, you could literally be the best player in the world. You cannot win this position. Like, the opponent's trying everything, and it's not their fault that they are dead lost here. This was kind of a really disgusting spawn win. But, yeah. 3 Dumux. And I can even get some extra explode value on the bomber. I go in with the centipede, which is completely unnecessary. It just loses the centipede, but I don't care. I have enough super units, I can do whatever I want. Another explosion with the Dumux here, getting some nice poison there. I have some Reichis. These are mostly like a just in case, like these bombers get out of hand, and they can collect the Ruin and Starfish. Other than that, they're not important at all. I get another centipede. And this is the I win the game button on the water. What a very fair and balanced stat line. Actually, it doesn't look that crazy, especially for 20 stars, but these have poison. That works with their stomp, by the way. This is a very unfair combo, and they make algae. I'd say boosted living islands are probably one of the most star efficient units in the whole game. The only downside is they cost 20 stars, but when you have 78 star per turn, sorry, 79 star per turn, that's not exactly a problem. And this is also why I put the shamans here all this time ago, is because I knew I was going to do this, because as it turns out, Cymanti late game is extremely trivial. You make Dumux on land and living islands on water, and then eventually your Dumux can go on the water too, after you use your living islands to spread algae. If one is trying to pressure me here, I can easily pop a centipede whenever I want, so I'm not worried whatsoever. I'm also like really poorly using my centipede segments. I just lose another centipede there. Like, I throw away so many centipedes for no reason and position my segments horribly, but it doesn't matter. Again, the game was over 10 turns ago. More explosion value. Now their Juggernaut's poisoned, so it's effectively dead. And then I'm getting the living island going, spreading algae. More living islands. It's just going to completely destroy their bombers. Like, one living island, if you want to like compare it to another unit in terms of like stat line, it's comparable to a Juggernaut. And if you get a Quadism, it's comparable to a Juggernaut with a Quadism. And you can train them every turn for 20 stars. You can literally train super units. I don't think I have to explain why that's not fair in the late game. And now I'm also completely bulldozing through here. I'm just killing all their units. I built up enough Dumux where I was getting pop caps, so I'm like, okay, let's just kill their giants. And yeah, they're gonna run out of super units because I can train super units, aka Dumux and Living Islands, and they can't train super units. Therefore, I win the game. The only way they could try to win is attack, but I have Centipede, Hexapods, Dumux on defense. So yeah, this is why the game is actually unplayable at this point. Like, there's nothing to play for here. Oh no, they chained my Dumux. They've donated me so much fungi though in the process, and actually not accomplished anything. I just unsiege and move on. There's algae everywhere. Now I can help out this isolated city here. I go in again. Train more stuff. I could have gone to Quadism this turn, but I don't care. My centipedes are just going to ravage this. This is a pretty isolated city for them as well. And with algae connections, yeah, they can't even kill my living island here. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes, as Ramdingler would say. I think Ramdingler also made a video on Cymanti about how stupid Dumux are. And yeah, as it turns out, he's completely right. There's just algae everywhere, like... And again, like, I've completely just broken a hole in their position in, like, a single turn. And then I'm just gonna do it again. And again, and again. And eventually it'll just... the opponent will topple over and die. It takes a long time to get to that point, but it will get to that point. However, the Living Islands seem a bit more obvious to the opponent, which is why they finally resign. I have almost 100. I have about 100 stars worth of units in the water if you exclude the centipedes and the shamans. And yeah, despite their bombers costing 18 stars, they don't stand a chance against a 20-star living island. Like, a living island can take out 2 bombers. Because, of course, you know, I don't know, man. What was Midjiwan cooking with this one? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.